Hey church, Pete Tkachuk here from Bryte. We just finished up a Sunday evening service and we were just talking about what plays into our salvation. You know, at the end of the day, what you and I have is one opportunity here on earth. Either we are saved or we are not. Eternity is a long time. And so really we have to be really careful about how and what we see is the path to our salvation. How do you know that you're saved, honestly? I shared a story with the church tonight about just answering that question. Why would a prisoner want to stay in prison even though the doors are unlocked? And it was about a prisoner of war camp in the Philippines during the end of World War II, where these 500 men that were in the camp were all of a sudden left alone by the guards. The guards disappeared and left for about 12 days until they came back again, yet not a single prisoner of war, these brave Marines that were captured, not a single one of them tried to leave the camp, because they were kept there in fear of maybe they were going to trick us, maybe the Japanese are going to come back and kill us. Fear keeps us locked up. And Paul talks about that here in Galatians chapter 3, verse 23. Before the coming of this faith, we were held in custody under law, locked up until faith that was to come would be revealed. I think so many of us still think that we can somehow do something that affects our faith, that affects our salvation and justification, other than just believe. We sometimes need to be saved from religion. We think that some Old Testament rules still apply. There's something we can do that makes us look better before God. And I think what we forget is just how perverted our heart is before God. No matter how good you think, the fact that no good deed that you can do is good enough for God. No way will it affect your salvation. So we must trust entirely on God. And that's why we read here in chapter 4, so you are no longer, verse 7, so you are no longer a slave, but God's child. And since you are his child, God has made you also an heir. And so, man, so many kids here, I love it. But that really speaks to the fact that we have been changed. We are now God's children, and that enslavement that we had of working for our salvation is no longer there. We do have freedom, we do have grace, complete salvation. And folks, what that should do for you is to just understand God's sacrifice for you. God had to die in order to forgive your sins. And what that does to me is when I understand grace, it makes me want to pursue that even more. It makes me want to pursue the knowledge of that God, of that being, to be saved, to be free, to be rescued, and leave my past behind, leave who I was before behind, and to live a new life now. And so I hope you hear that too, and your change in your life is now a tribute to that, not in any way an effect on your salvation. That none of that plays into whether you are saved or not, other than Jesus Christ himself. But man, our heart should react to that in a way that it's loving and shows a change. All right, church, I just want you to be encouraged, and God bless you guys.